Beautiful day out today. It's like 20 degrees. Don't work today, so good day to get a ride in. Got the red truck out of storage there on Sunday. I think it was Sunday, maybe it was Saturday. Sunday. One of the days, Saturday. But yeah, stoked to have the truck back out. Stoked to be out on the bike today. Gonna be a good day. Bad day on dirt bikes is better than a good day at work, that's for sure. I can hear a quad coming. There we are. Take a little break. Absolutely beautiful out here. Not a single person. Maybe I'll see someone after, but... And that's why I ride through the week if I can. I don't want to see a bunch of quads and side-by-sides. They're slow. You think you're going slow on a bike, and then you get behind a quad or a guy on a 4x4 quad or on a side-by-side, and they're putting her through here at 2 kilometers an hour. Well, I'm gonna shut the camera off for a minute, take a break. I'll turn it back on when we get riding again. Okay, it's time to get this ride back on the road. Definitely my favorite spot to stop, take a 10-minute break, hang out, enjoy the nature. I don't know what it is about people, but we like to sit there and stare at the water.
should be anyway. You're Reggie Seabach, aren't you? Yeah, I thought so. Just keep an eye if you're back there.
If there's cows.
Get off his bike.
I was pretty much done my ride, so I'll just go the other way.
You haven't seen any tracks this way, have you?
No, and there's no horses out today. They're your cows?
Yeah.
Fuck, that sucks.
Yeah, if you're going back that way, have a look. I've been back there. They seem to be going to the river and over into that fucking thing.
I never go to the river. I usually just go to that four-way, turn around and go back. Yeah. It's always all wet that way. And...
Actually, it's drying up pretty fucking good.
Is it?
For a bike, yeah.
Still got the 450?
No, I think my brother has that one.
Oh, that was your brother with the Kawasaki?
Oh, yes, he loves them.
And the guy, the asshole, sat there and reamed him out the one day? That guy got fired this year, I think.
Did he? Well, see, it's not guys like us. You know what I mean?
I try to stay away when all the ATVers are out.
Yesterday, they wouldn't they were arrogant. I had the cattle right to my back end, and they didn't care. They still kept coming.
And what, they're right on your road, like right on your trails, or right on your property?
Well, then they closed it on me. So the cows turned, instead of going in my trail, they come down here, and then they fucked off in here. I had them going just the right fucking way, eh? It's like, fuck. And it's agitating, because you can't, because they're wild.
Yeah. No, I don't even care to go back there, because that thing they'll be alright with. This they probably won't be. This will spook the living fucking shit out of them. Well, it will, right?
That's why the dog took off. Hey, how's your dad doing?
Good.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's your dad's farm right there.
Grandpa's, yeah.
Grandpa's,
yeah,
okay.
He left a chunk to me, Grandma, and them, so me and David. Yeah, you're all right parking there all the time. I told everybody to leave him alone. He's been there for years.
Oh yeah? Well, I've ridden these before they were ever ATV fucking trails.
Yeah, right?
I try to ride in the week when there's no one around.
Yeah.
I never ever come through. Like, usually I ride with those horseback riders.
Oh, do you?
Well, I mean, they're always out at the same time. They're probably trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, honestly, I think these new people are going to ruin the fucking trails.
They are.
And I think you're going to start seeing fatalities from these side-by-sides.
Yeah, them things are crazy. See how when you're coming through a dirt bike, you can go to the side, eh?
Well, the ATV can't get anywhere.
Yep, see, we're meeting there, we can go around each other. Not them fucking side
Like when I snowmobiled, I always rode at night. The old man always said, let's ride at night because we can see the lights coming through the trail. In the day, I wouldn't want to be on that. That'd be fucking, when there's lots of quads out here and they're all driving like idiots, half of them are half cut.
Yeah, kids too. That's right.
And they're so powerful nowadays, and everyone's got the biggest, baddest fucking quad.
No, actually, if you went and cut that way and come back around...
Oh, you hope they scare them that way?
That would scare them this way.
All right, well, I'll go for a rip that way and make some noise.
My cows are belted Galloway, so they're black with a white, and there's one Holstein with them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you see them, let me know.
Yep. Yeah, if I see them, I'll stop by before I leave.
Yeah, that'll spook them the way I want them.
All right. So there it is. There's the reality. That guy owns all this land. That guy, I went to school with him. I used to always park on the road over there by the ATV parking lot, but everyone's getting butthurt. Dirt bikes are illegal on all of our trail system. I don't know why they go after the dirt bikes, but like I was saying to him, it's the side-by-sides that are going to ruin the sport. We're going to start having fatalities. People are going to start dying from... They get ripping through here. A lot of them are half cut. And even if they're not, they take up most of the trail. They can't get over. And there's a lot of blind corners here. So, but nonetheless, trails are illegal for dirt bikes to ride here. This guy owns all the good trails. These are the trails I ride. He'd already told the ATV club and the cops to leave me alone, that I'm allowed to ride this. I've ridden this for years and years. I've ridden this for more years than the average Joe, long before there were ever ATV trails. I started riding these trails when I was about 9.5, 10 years old on my old man's Bayou 230. And I was also riding them on my RM80 back then, 30 years ago, or 28 years ago. We didn't even have quad trails back then. I've been riding these trails long before there's been quad trails or an ATV club. And try to respect everyone out here. I got no issues with anyone on the trails. I'm not keen on the bylaw and the cops trying to charge us and whatnot. Like he said, I got permission. They've told them to leave me alone. I've ridden these my whole life. I plan to ride them the rest of my life. I don't care if they're illegal or not. I'm not here hurting anything, and it doesn't even matter if I was here hurting anything. I have permission from the owner of the property to ride these trails. You'll notice I ride the same trails all the time. I ride ones that they own. A couple weeks ago I had a bylaw trying to give me a ticket. But there we are. So he's got some cattle out here that obviously someone opened up the fucking gate to go ride through his property because they're idiots. And these are the kind of people that ruin the sport, because they give up a lot of their land for ATV trails and snowmobile trails. But there's a fucking gate back there for cattle, and morons that just come here from the city, or kids or whoever, they go open the gates and go riding on his actual property, like his home, where they have their animals. That gate keeps the cows in, and then someone needs to go rip through people's yards and do that. So they wonder why they keep losing their trails. When they lose their trails here, I'll still be able to ride. And you know what? The best part is there won't be quads out here then. What are we at? The bike's got 9.7 hours on it. It had about 2 hours on it before I installed the hour meter, so we're around 12 hours. Not bad. Middle of May. Got the bike in the middle of winter. It's been nice having the extra time to ride this year. Normally I have to ditch out of work, but kind of got lucky. A few jobs, hold-ups. Most people would say that's not lucky, but life's short. I'll go without a paycheck for a week or two. That's not a big deal. If I get to enjoy some nice weather and do some hobby stuff and spend a little more time with my kid doing stuff because I don't have to be at work, I'm good with that. I'll catch it up later. When the stuff's ready, I'll get it done, and I won't be out riding as much. That'll be the way she goes. This tire just sucks now that it's dry out. You can see when I said I modified it, I added some grooves in the center lugs. Still sucks. It's too hard of a compound tire. I got the front set way too soft now. It's darting and twitchy. I mean, I probably should change that front tire too. But for now, one of these days here, it's supposed to rain for a few days, so I'll probably take my buddy the tire to swap out on maybe Wednesday afternoon. Hope to get it back Friday. Well, hopefully he finds his cows. I didn't really want to come scare him, but he says, yeah, go for a ride, it'll scare them back. So here we are. Yeah, one of the nice things about being a long-time local. Trail owners telling them to leave certain people alone because they've been here before them. One of the perks of being a local, and a long-time local, a life local. Well, maybe we'll see some cows on the way back. If not, there's not much left of the ride. Bit of this rocky section. pump brakes over here. That's his dog, I think. Well, that was a good ride. I hope he finds his cattle. That's pretty shitty having them just run wild, because there's a lot of acreage over there. Yeah. Here you can see now that the tire's cleaned out, you can see the tread it didn't do anything. It didn't help at all. I just haven't had the time to change the rear tire because it's been so nice. I wanted to ride. I knew I had the time off. My next job starts Thursday, so good time to have it dropped off to get done. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys and gals. I appreciate y'all. You guys have a good Monday, and we'll check you out on the next ride. Peace out.